this session, we are going to discuss how to find zeros of polynomial. We are going to start with quadratic polynomials. Quadratic polynomial means it has degree of polynomial as 2. So whatever problems we are going to discuss, degree of polynomial will be 2. So there are few problems that we are going to discuss. Let's start with the first one, and we are going to use middle term splitting method for this one. You have done this in grade 9 already. We are again repeating it one more time, and we are going to find the relationships as well between the zeros, right? So let's start. This graph you can see, we are going to discuss at the end of the session, not now. So this is just for the purpose of understanding. No need to draw it. Okay, so let's start. X square plus 5x plus 6 is our question, and I do want to find zeros of this polynomial. So how can we do it? The most important term over here is constant. We need to start from constant. So what is our constant? Which is 6. So I will be doing factors of 6, which are 1 multiplied by 6 and 2 multiplied by 3. Okay, first step, I am repeating one more time. Factor of constant term, which is 6. Factors of 6 are 1 multiplied by 6 and 2 multiplied by 3. First step is very simple. Second step, now what is the sign of constant? See, sign of constant is plus. So I am going to add the factors. 1 plus 6 is equal to 7 and 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. I am repeating second step one more time. What is the sign of constant? Right, in this case it is plus. So I am going to add the factors. 1 plus 6 is equal to 7, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. So two steps are done. Now decide which factor are we going to use over here. Okay, you must be able to see there is a one similarity between any of the factor and question, right? Which is that number? Guess it. It's 5, right? X square plus 5x plus 6. So you can see 1 plus 6, 7 is not present in the polynomial, but 5 is present. It is the middle term, 5x. So what factor I am going to choose? Which is 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to 6 and 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Done? Easy. So we need to choose the factors. Now observe one thing over here, that all signs are positive. So we are not thinking about that how either 2 is negative or 3 is positive, right? Now let's do a cross check for it. Okay, so we need to see that multiplication should be 6, that is 2 into 3 is equal to 6, that is positive. So plus 6 over here. And for the addition, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, that is also positive. So observe, the sign of 6 is positive. Yes, it is valid for these two factors. Sign of 5, that is plus, that is also valid. So my factors are 2 and 3. First of all, understand how to identify the factors. I hope you are clear here. Now let's substitute the values here. So what you will get, x square plus, instead of 5 I will be writing 3 plus 2, because 3 and 2 are my factors, x plus 6. Now I will be multiplying x with each of them 1 by 1. So that is x square plus 3x plus 2x plus 6. Done. I've used distributive property. Open the bracket. Now we need to find the common thing between x square and 3x. So this x square can be written as x multiplied by x, and this 3x can be written as 3 multiplied by x. So can you see there is one x which is common between them. So whatever is common I will be taking outside. So x is common, and what's left in the bracket? If you take out the x out of this one, what's left? Only 1x. So x as it is plus sign as it is, no change in sign, remember that, and 3x. So if you take x, what's left? Only 3. Done. Now think, what can we take common over here? 2x plus 6, right? See the numbers. Variables cannot be common because 2x has only one x while 6 has no variable, right? So I think we need to think in terms of numbers. So 2 and 6, right? In 2's table 6 is present, which is 2 3s are 6. So what will take common, which is 2, and in bracket if you see over here that 2 is left, 2 is taken common, so what's left? Only x, and factors of 6 we already know, that is 2 3s are 6. If you take 2 common out, what's left? Only 3. So observe one thing, x plus 3 and x plus 3 is again one more common factor, right? So let's take it out, x plus 3 common, and if you take x plus 3 common out, what's left here? Only x, and here if you take x plus 3 common out, what's left? X plus, okay, only plus 2. So this is my factorization, right? This is my factorization, not 0. Now to get 0, what do? We equate this as 0, right? Now we are going to do either this factor can be 0 or this factor can be 0. So let's do it. This x plus 3 is equal to 0, or here x plus 2 is equal to 0, right? Any of them can be 0. So let me shift over here, that will get x is equal to minus 3, and here x is equal to minus 2. So my two zeros are x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to minus 2. Okay, let's repeat the step one more time. First of all, what you need to do, you need to take the constant term and find the factors. Remember one thing, don't repeat the factors. Like 1 into 6 we have taken one factor, so don't write 6 into 1. That will not make any sense. It will repeat your calculations unnecessarily, right? So 1 into 6, 2 into 3. Now why have I added them? Because see the sign of the constant, which is positive. So 1 plus 6 7, 2 plus 3 5. Done. Now observe the middle term. Middle term is 5, and where am I getting 5? That is my final factor that I am going to choose for this polynomial. So 2 into 3 is equal to positive 6, and 2 plus 3 is equal to positive 5. See, positive 6 and positive 5. So you need to verify the signs as well. This case is easy because we are taking only positive sign into consideration. So after you factorize it, you will get x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to minus 2. Now suppose if I want to skip all this step, after the question I want to directly get this step, x plus 3 and x plus 2, direct this step. I want to skip this 1, 2 and 3 steps, right? How shall I do it? Let me rewrite the question. So x square plus 5x plus 6, done, is equal to 0. Let me write is equal to 0, and I want to write these factors directly. Want to skip all these things. So we know that two factors are 2 and 3. Okay, positive. Remember, it is positive only, right? No negative sign. So what will I do? I will be writing the first term as it is without the power, x square. Okay, x square is there, so don't take square. What is there? Only x. Then take first factor, which is plus 2. Then again take x, and what is the second factor? Plus 3 is equal to 0. Very easy. You don't need to do all this calculation. You can skip all these steps and directly come back to this step. So x plus 2 and x plus 3. Let me remind you one more time how to do it. X square. Forget the square. Okay. If you even keep it in a mind, like take a square root of it, right? So square root of x square is only x, and first factor bracket x as it is, and this second factor. Now the method is going to remain same. Either you take x plus 2 is equal to 0, so you get x is equal to minus 2, done, that factor is there. Another, or x plus 3 is equal to 0 and you get x is equal to minus 3, that's the second factor. So remember this easy trick to write the zeros very quickly so you can save your time. And Here there is a one chance with the negative sign. If you do mistake somewhere, it is difficult to get the zeros quickly, right? So we'll discuss few problems as well regarding this, no worry. Now let's come to this graph. Why have I drawn this? So we learned in previous session that if the curve touches x-axis, that is the zero of polynomial, right? So my polynomial is x square plus 5x plus 6. So zeros are x is equal to -3 and x is equal to -2. So if I plot this on graph paper, it will touch x-axis how many times? 2 times, right? And where will it touch? It will touch at x is equal to -3 and x is equal to -2. So this first point is -2 and the second point is -3. So when we talk about zeros of polynomial, we are actually finding where this curve touch x-axis. Remember this graphical understanding very clearly. It's very easy as well, right? You are not supposed to draw in examination. I am showing you for understanding that what is the meaning of x is equal to -2 and x is equal to -3. So this was the first case of finding zeros of polynomial. We'll discuss others as well. Let's discuss second problem for finding zeros of polynomial, x square plus x minus 6. Here also we are going to use the same method that we used in previous sum. We are going to start with the constant, we'll factorize it, we'll see the sign of it. But there is a one twist in this question. See, x square plus x, the middle term sign is positive, and see constant sign which is negative. So here we need to think the sign of the factors. In previous case, we did not focus much on the sign of the factors because it was all positive. 2 plus 3 5 and 2 into 3 6, very easy. But here we need to think something about the signs as well. So let's start. You can factorize 6, and as always, I mean there will be only 2 factors. So let's do it. 6 here is a constant and factors 1 multiplied by 6 which is 6 and 2 multiplied by 3 which is also 6. Now what is the sign of constant? See over here, most important, go step by step, no need to rush, do not skip any step. What is the sign of constant? Which is negative. So what I am going to do in this case, am I going to add or subtract? Think, am I going to add or subtract? What we did in previous case, we added because the sign of constant was positive, but in this case sign of the constant is what? Negative. Remember, sign of the constant plays very important role. We are going to do operation on factors based on that only. So sign of the constant is negative, so I am going to subtract the factors. 6 minus 1 is equal to 5 and 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Now observe one thing over here, I have subtracted bigger number minus smaller number for the purpose of value, right? Now see middle term, what is the value of middle term? Which is, there's nothing written over, you may get confused. But remember, if there is nothing is written, we consider it as a 1. So which of them is matching? 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So what is my factor? 2 into 3 is equal to 6 and 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Okay, so let me write finally here that now along with the signs I am going to write. Okay, so let's say 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to 6. I am still only going for values, and here 3 minus 2 is equal to what? Only 1. Now see, okay, 1 should be positive, it is there. 6 should be negative. How it will be negative? Now either you take -3, either you take -3 or -2. Now depend. Now if you see over here that if you take -3, value will be changed. See, if you take, let me write with another pen, -3 plus 2, so that will be -1. Remember this case, that will be -1, not positive 1. What do we want over here? That positive 1. So that's why I need to take 3 as a positive and 2 as a negative, right? So I will get positive answer. But in case of multiplication, I should be getting negative. So -2 multiplied by 3 is equal to -6 and 3 minus 2, it is 1. So now compare, what is the constant? Minus 6 here. What is the middle term? Plus 1x, or you can say only plus 1 for value, which is 1. So what are my factors? 3 and minus 2. So factors I will be taking, that is 3 and minus 2. Now I want to skip the middle steps and I want to get the answer quickly. So what shall I do here? I will be writing as it is x square. I will not be writing square. So what's left? Only x. Then what is the first factor? 3. Now if there is no sign, what sign do we consider? Plus. So that is x plus 3. And here again, okay, hide the power of x square, which is 2. So what's left? Only x. And what is the second factor? Minus 2. And as we want to find zeros, we will equate as 0. So x plus 3 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now either of them can be 0. Let me take this as 0. So that will be x plus 3 is equal to 0. If I shift over here, that will be x is equal to minus 3. So my first 0 is x is equal to minus 3. Then another, this can be 0 as well. So x minus 2 is equal to 0. Let's shift over this side. So that is x is equal to 2. This is my second 0. So what are my two zeros? X is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to 2. Now let's go for our graphical presentation. Now what does this minus 3 and positive 2 mean? We know as it is a degree of polynomial 2, there will be two zeros. This graph is going to touch x-axis on how many points? 2 points. What are those 2 points? Guess it. That is minus 3 and 2. So this is a similar presentation of this equation. And so there are two zeros. The graph is touching, the curve is touching x-axis at 2 points. That is one over here and another over here. So you can see I am getting one negative value and one positive value. And this curve touches one on x-axis positive and another is negative. So if I want to name it, can you do that? Which is, this point will be positive, so that is 2, and here it will be minus 3. So if I find the zeros of this x square plus x minus 6, I will be getting there are two, which is minus 3 and 2. This curve will touch x-axis at these 2 points. So this is the meaning of this 0 as well. Let's discuss next sum.